The purpose of this video is to show you some of the resources that are available to us through ThinkCentral, our program that we already have, and how you might use it. Okay, before you do these activities, you're going to have to enable Flash, and I'll show you how to do that in a separate video if you'd like. I've clicked on ThinkCentral, I've clicked on Grade 5, and I'm going to choose the Math iTools. Again, this won't show up if you don't have Flash enabled, and you need to do that first. I'm going to choose fractions, and out of fractions I'm going to choose the Activity Explorer. And under Explorer I have several ways that I can go. Fraction bars, circle fractions, pattern blocks, and Cuisenaire rods. I'm going to click on Cuisenaire rods because that's what we've been using in the past few lessons. Unfortunately, there's no way to annotate on this board. In other words, kids can't write on it or even type on it. But what they can do is they can click on the bars, much like we've been doing, and we could, for example, tell that this piece right here, the blue piece, is equal to 1 whole. That means that this piece right here would be equal to 1/3, because if you can see here, I can line them up and I can show that 3 of these put together is equivalent or equals the same value as that top block. Alright, one thing that this piece of software does is it starts with the unit fraction here, or the smallest unit here, and notice that the red bar is twice as long as the white bar, which is the smallest unit, and the light green is 3 times as long, purple is 4 times, and so forth, so that the blue is equal to 9 of the white units. Okay, that's something that I would like students to discover on their own using the blocks and through a guided activity. But here it's just made up for us. And so, it's just shown to us. So what I would, one of the possible activities you could do here online is to ask kids if blue is equal to 1 whole and light green is equal to 1/3, then maybe you might ask, what value is the white block? The correct answer there would be 1/9, and to prove that, we would have to click and show that 9 of these blocks are equivalent to 1 blue block. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now. But then a further activity that we could do here is we could say, okay, if that's equal to 1 whole, that's equal to 1/3, that's equal to 1/9, then what value is this? And furthermore, what value is this? Okay, so if those two are together, we see that's 8 and that one's 6. So we could figure out that that's equal to 14/9, or 1 5/9, because that's 1 and that's 9. So each one of these is 1/9. There's 8 of them there, 6 of them there. That's 14/9. But another way that you could figure that out is to say, all right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 more. Now, one problem with this software is that you got to line them up really carefully. There's no easy way to do this. There's no quick way to do it. But if you don't line them up carefully and you let them overlap, then you can make mistakes. And so each of these is equal to 1/3. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 2 left over here. So how would you go about figuring out what that value is? Okay. Let's take a little easier example here. All right. Let's assume again that this is equal to 1 whole. Well, if that's equal to 1 whole, then one question that you might have is, What value is this? Well, a quick way that you could do this is to compare to one whole. First of all, is it more than one whole? And the answer is yes, it's more than one whole. Notice that it's actually equal to 1 whole and 1/3. Because if you remember, this is 1 whole, this is 1/3, this is 1/9. So this value right here is 1 and 1/3. Okay. I think that the strengths of this activity are that the values based on the unit block are given. That's one way to look at a strength. Another way is that you can easily manipulate these blocks and move them around. But a weakness is there's no way to annotate on this screen, and there's no way for us to build in any written response on screen. So you'd have to do that on paper. To get around that, you could have kids work in partners, where one kid looks at this and says, if this is 1 whole, then this is 1/3, and this is 1/9. What value is this? That's the way we would explain it, or that's the way we would expect students to explain it. Or you might say, this is 1/3 because 3 equal parts equal or have the same value as 1 whole. Okay, this is an activity that I think could use some strengthening, but still the manipulatives are there and able to be used.